This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 14, verse 4 through 8. That thou shouldest take up this proverb against the king of Babylon, and say, How hath the oppressor ceased? The golden city ceased. Yahweh hath broken the staff of the wicked, and the scepter of the rulers. He who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke, he that ruled the nation in anger is persecuted, and none hindereth. The whole earth is at rest, and is quiet. They break forth into singing. Yea, the fir tree rejoiced at thee, and the cedars of Lebanon sang, Since thou art laid down, no feller has come up against us. Hell from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee at thy coming. It stirreth up the dead for thee, even all the chief ones of the earth. It have raised up from their thrones all the kings of the nations. Shalom, shalom. Before I begin this lesson, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone, who rule well, and peace and blessing be multiplied on all you brethren preaching this word in all sincerity and truth, all you elders and bishops and sincere Akyam. Shalom. It's the brother Dama Agabar here with another lesson, Lord willing to edify and give you warning from Yahweh by Yahweh Shai. All right, and I read this Isaiah the 14th chapter, the 4th verse down to the 9th, just dealing with, the peace and the sigh of relief this earth is going to receive once Esau, Edom, and the wicked rule of Babylon the Great, America, is finally taken down. When the Lord finally strips Esau of his rulership, totally destroys the democracy, the military, and just this wicked, unfair, uncouth, wicked society and kingdom of Esau, Edom is thrown down, the earth is going to be at rest, man. And one thing that I can say with 100% surety is that when it's time for Esau, Edom, the so-called white man in America, to finally to go down and to be destroyed, nobody is going to stop it, man. Nobody is going to come to your aid. Nobody is going to come to your defense, because this is basically all these different nations on the planet Earth, they all have a bone to pick, or they all have some type of issue with Babylon the Great, America, which is the hammer of the whole earth, the rulership of you damn so-called white people who are the biblical Edomites. All right. And you can't go down fast enough, and that's why you see all these different nations, they're all banding together. You see the BRICS nations, coming together to try to get from under the boot of the West, the rulership of these damn devils, because it's just unfair, it's unbalanced, it's wicked, and it has done enough damage, man, and everybody on this earth is groaning and moaning, man. Hey, this earth is in dire need of new management, and people are just tired of you damn white people. They're tired of Esau, Edom. They're tired of this wicked system that is beating them down every day, and the end of it is coming very quickly. All right, because I was reading this article, and it just further shows you, the wickedness and the why, that Isaiah the 14th chapter is written, man. All right, that sigh of relief when this damn devil was taken out of power. And it says, Biden administration removes 4 African nations from AGOA trade program for refusing to embrace leftist values like transgenderism. You see? And this is what this man does, Now, we don't give a damn about those Hamites over there in those African countries, but I'm using this lesson as an example to show you the wickedness of this damn devil Esau, of the so-called white man. You see, and this is what he does. If you don't get down with his agenda, if you don't play ball with him, he'll take away your funding, he'll punish you. He'll put sanctions on you, or he'll make it to where it'll be harder. Here it is. He'll make it harder for your citizens to flourish and to, to do business, or to have access to the Western, economy. He'll punish you by removing you from that just because you don't want to embrace transgenderism in your country, which shows you that this man is a complete devil, man. All right. So he's removing these 4 African nations because they refuse to embrace transgenderism. You see, which I'm pretty sure that's that's against their culture. They don't live that type of lifestyle to where they allow transformers or transmissions inside of their country. All right. That, as well as the alphabetism, These are things that America will punish these African nations for not accepting their human rights, or just basically not accepting the ways of the West, not accepting, the ways of Satan upon their country. This devil will punish you for that, man. And this is why, the whole earth is going to be at rest when Esau is finally destroyed and taken out of the earth. And the Lord's going to set up the righteous kingdom of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, which you people, once you see it and once you get it, once you see exactly how, the kingdom of Israel is going to be ran, you're going to want to be a part of that. All right. It's not going to be so, harsh and destructive and wicked as Esau's kingdom. It says the Biden administration had decided to remove 4 African nations from the African Growth and Opportunity Act trade program over gross violations of left-wing values packaged under the guise of internationally recognized human rights. You see, this is what Esau does, man. If you don't recognize human rights, basically, which is the green light for your citizens to be turned out and to be freaked out, he'll come and punish you. And in this case, he removed these 4 African nations from the African Growth Opportunity Act, which shows you that these so-called African nations, though their land is full of a lot of resources and it's a very rich land, that ultimately they're not in control of it. All right. And Esau, at any moment he wants to, can restrict you from having access to financial stability and importing and exporting and basically funding yourself, man. It says President Joe Biden himself laid out this decision on an October 30th letter addressed to the House Speaker Mike Johnson and Vice President Kamala Harris in her capacity as the President of the U.S. Senate. He wrote that Uganda, Niger, Gabon, and the Central African Republic should be excluded from the AGOA trade program starting January 1st, 2024. And you see, and this is why a lot of these different African nations are siding with Russia. They're teaming up with the Russians so that they could get away from the oppression of the West, and not being subjected to transgenderism and so-called human rights, as this devil likes to quote it. It says, according to the chief executive, the CAR's government has engaged in gross violations of internationally recognized human rights and has not established or is not making continual progress towards establishing the protection of internationally recognized worker rights, the rule of law, and political pluralism. For Niger and Gabon, Biden said both nations have failed to meet the political pluralism and rule of law criteria stipulated in the AGOA agreement. He also cited coups in both nations that have resulted in military leadership. Meanwhile, Biden also pointed to Uganda's supposed failure to acknowledge and uphold human rights. Earlier this year, Kampala passed a law that strictly limits and even criminalizes homosexuality. The CAR also sanctions in place that forbid same-sex acts in public. You see, and this is what these devils do. And, I'm sure, they read the fine print, because this is part of the stipulations of joining that AGOA. You have to, get down with their criteria. But these nations are, look, the hell with that. We're not doing that shit, man. All right. We're not going to turn our people out. We're not going to go along with this type of behavior, So therefore, now what? Now they're being punished. Now they're being reprimanded. Or see? And this is what Esau does, man. This is This is Habakkuk 2. Habakkuk 2 and 4. It says, behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by faith. It said, yea, also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man. You see, in order for these nations to get with that AGOA, there's certain there's certain stipulations and contracts you have to abide by in order to receive the benefits, in order to receive financial help. You have to abide by this man's rule, or otherwise he'll bring hell upon you. It says, neither, he said, yeah, also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home. Yeah, he's all over there in Africa. That AGOA is something from the West that benefits those people all the way over there in Africa. You see? It says, who enlargeth his desire as hell. You see, that's why he's over there. That's why he presented this program to those different African nations. It's ultimately for him to get the advantage and for him to have a foothold in all these different nations' countries. In order for you to make money and for you to do trade and you to have access to the financial markets, you know, you have to sign these different contracts. You have to abide by their rules. You have to allow transgenderisms and any other laws that the West deems to be right, even if it goes against your moral compass. It don't matter. You have to get down with it. Otherwise, he'll there'll be punishments to go along with it. It says, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. Shall not all these take up a parable against him, a taunting proverb against him, and say, Woe to him that increaseth that which is not his? How long unto him that ladeth himself with thick clay? Shall they not rise up suddenly that shall bite thee, and awake that shall vex thee, and thou shalt be for booties unto them? You see? And that's why, these different nations, they're getting with Russia, they're getting with China, they're getting with those BRICS nations, so that they could, have a safeguard. They can have somebody to be in their corner, somebody that can come to their defense when the West rolls on them with these, stipulations and punishments, man. It says, because thou hast spoiled many nations, all the remnant of the people shall spoil thee, because of men's blood and for the violence of the land and of the city and all that dwell therein. You see? And that's why I said in Isaiah the 14th chapter, when it's time for you to fall, nobody's going to come to your aid, and nobody's going to hinder it, and nobody's going to stop you when you got what's coming unto you, man. You see, because you have been a scoundrel and a bastard to all these different nations that you have heaped unto yourself. It says, despite intensive engagement between the U.S. and the 4 African nations, these countries have failed to address U.S. concerns about their non-compliance with the AGOA eligibility criteria. Biden noted, however, the administration will continue to assess their eligibility to meet the requirements for potential reinstatement to the program. Right. So we're going to kick your ass out of here. Now, until you get right and you start to bow down and you start to do what we told you, then we'll reassess if we want to let you back in. But let them back into what? It says it right here a little bit. This is at a November 1 article by Reuters expounded on the AGOA trade program, which was established in 2000 under the leadership of former U.S. President Bill Clinton. According to the piece, it was established to strengthen economic ties with sub-Saharan African nations and foster their economic development. You see, so now he has the power to eliminate their ability to, to have economic development, to do imports, exports, probably receiving aid packages from America, receiving money from America and everything else that goes with it. But it comes at a price. It comes at you having to, accept their version of international law. You see? It says the AGOA, which was initially passed with a bipartisan consensus, have been renewed twice, enabling approximately 35 African countries to benefit from its provisions. You see? So Esau has his foot all up in those African nations' asses, man. You see? Like I said, he put unto him all people. His desire is as hell, and he can't be satisfied. This man is all over the earth, man. He has his hands in everybody's cookie jar. You see? And that's why, these nations are taking up a taunting proverb against the devil because, they want to have the help. They want to be able to, have economic development, but not at the, not at the cost of, allowing their citizens to be freaked out and to, do things that go against their moral compass. But Esau don't give a damn, all right? You're going to do what he tells you to do or else. It says the eligibility of African countries for the AGOA is subject to a periodic review based on criteria including economic policies and the protection of human rights. You see, so he'll give you the money, he'll help you, but it comes at a price. It comes at you having to get down with his economic policies, man. You see, it says so participating nations can lose and regain eligibility, and this process is essential to maintaining the standards of the program. The trade program has provided eligible African countries with duty-free access to the U.S. market for nearly 2,000 agricultural and manufactural products. You see, so if you don't get down, hey, he can cut your well dry. You won't be able to have access to the U.S. market. That means you won't be able to make money. You can be shut out. You can be denied particular things. And I'm sure there's other shit on the books that he can do that's not being mentioned in this article. Like I said, I'm sure he can buy, if he's giving you aid packages, he can cut that aid package. That extra $2 billion he's giving you on top of helping you have access to his markets, he'll cut that shit dry, you know, and that'll what? That'll hurt the people. That'll starve you out. That'll bring economic woes. That'll bring, that can bring civil unrest into your country. You know, that can bring regime change. You know, it can be used for a number of things, but ultimately to weaken and to destabilize and to destroy these countries, man. It says the AOG serves as a strategic tool to advance U.S. interests on the African continent, including provisions on denying eligibility to countries that undermine U.S. national security or foreign policy interests. The U.S. lawmakers also consider AGOA a soft power toolkit to counter the growing influence of China in the region, you see? And this is why these countries are going to Russia. They're going to China now, you know, because they want to get from under the grip of the West. You know, I'm sure China and Russia probably has, contracts that help them, but it's not as hardcore as what America is putting upon these people. You see, it says, in other words, the U.S. seeks to maintain its presence in the region by fostering economic development and strengthening trade relations with African nations. So basically, you better get down or lay down, man. All right. And like I said, the only reason Esau's doing this is because he wants to have that strong hold and that power position in these different countries. You know, and also get his hands on the natural resources and God knows what else, man. It says requirements for beneficiary status under AGOA include progress in maintaining a market-based economy, upholding the rule of law, political pluralism, the right to due process, and enacting policies to reduce poverty, combat corruption, and protect human rights, which that's all a goddamn lie. All right. That's what they put on paper to make it sound good. But really, we know this devil, he's doing the complete opposite of that, man. Like I said, it's completely to have total control and mind control over these African nations like Debo, man. All right. And like I said, and to keep it, from China and Russia being able to get political footholds in those countries. But they're already a little bit too late because a lot of these countries are going to China and Russia for aid and for help and for better deals, man. It says, however, the Biden administration still has the final say on whether countries are eligible for the benefits under the AGOA, man. Hey, and that's why that Isaiah 14 is going to come to pass, man. All right. This is Micah chapter 2, verse 1. It says, woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand. Right. So that whole AGOA is just it's nothing but iniquity. All right. It's nothing but a contract and iniquity being done by the West to gain control over those African countries over there in the form of that AGOA. See, it says, and they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage. And that's what part of that AGOA is. That's why, they have to respect human rights if you want to be a part of that program, which is to allow alphabetism and transgenderism be legal in those African countries. And they reprimand them if they, make laws deeming that to be against the law. You have to go along with what the West says and do what the West says in order for you to be a part of that program, man. You see, but that's why, this man is so despised and why he is so hated. And that's why it says, woe to the oppressors. And that's why a great judgment is coming to Babylon the Great. Like I read in Isaiah the 14th chapter, man. Hey, the whole earth is going to be at rest. This devil, his time is at hand, man. But this article is just further showing you that this fits Esau, Edom, and that he is the wicked that the Bible speaks of. And this is why, you nations in no wise should ever, lie in bed with this dog, because you're going to get fleas, man. He's going to use you. He's going to abuse you. He's going to use you up. And he's going to do exactly what the wicked were created to do, which is to oppress. So with that, Lord willing, this was edifying. I'm going to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai, putting the spirit of me to do this lesson. Until the next one, Shalom.